Yeah.
What are we saying, Bram?
So we're back with another video. Odd Vision. I'm Marcos and I'm here with
Natasha.
And Rayjay, as usual.
As usual. But today we're going to be talking about a really interesting topic. It's wisdom. We're essentially going to dive into wisdom and explain what it is about and how one can gain wisdom, at least by our perspectives. So what is the first thing that you think of, like, when you think of wisdom?
Wisdom. Understanding. Wisdom is just essentially understanding a lot of things, bro.
Understanding.
My definition of wisdom is the ability to think and to act on utilizing knowledge.
Yeah.
So once you always get knowledge, that doesn't essentially mean that you have no wisdom, because anyone can have knowledge about anything that is like around us, anything that's there, but do you know how to utilize it? Do you know how to use it? And if you know how to use it, then you are wise. You know how to make better decisions and opinions on distinctions of what is actually there.
That's true. 100% makes sense. What do you think about it, Natasha?
Before I can answer anything, why did you want us to talk about wisdom?
Why did I want us to talk about wisdom?
Yes.
Because it's an interesting topic.
True.
And because it also like helps people understand and view themselves, since our channel is about like giving out a message so people can learn themselves, and having wisdom is a step towards like actually knowing yourself. I don't think I mentioned it like in depth in the importance of knowing yourself video, but it's something that I should have mentioned like more in depth.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because without wisdom, there's no way that you can understand and get to know yourself. That's an incredibly important element to that. So what do you think about it?
What are the lengths? Do you think like without wisdom, definitely you can't know yourself?
To what extent?
Yeah, to what extent do you think that goes?
Probably maximum, because if you have no wisdom, because wisdom is a sense of like, it's either you have it or you don't. If I'm to make an analogy, it's the same thing I spoke about last time with the loyalty. It's like, it's not a percentage of I'm 70% loyal, I'm 80%. It's either you are or you are not. There's no in between. It's like black or white, good or bad, hot or cold. There's no in betweens. So it's either you are wise or you're not wise. That's how I see it, at least.
Okay. I feel like there are many dimensions when it comes to wisdom, but the dimension I feel like we're gonna be speaking on is basically the dimension of understanding, and that's what I understand by the word of wisdom when it comes to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the dynamics of it?
There's so many in this,
so
like
broad.
You don't want to talk about all of that. It's so many. There are so many dimensions when it comes to wisdom, not only just the understanding.
Yeah, it's a broad topic.
Yes, very broad, but we're focusing on the knowledge aspect, the understanding, and so
it's important.
Yeah.
But when I think of wisdom, at least from my point of view, like, since I'm Christian, so are you guys.
Kumayamos. We did this.
Yeah, was like so.
To me, like, the beginning of wisdom is essentially in the fear of God. That's where wisdom starts. Like, if you're to read Proverbs, I believe, chapter 9. 9 is it? 9:10, yeah. 9:10.
9:10, really?
Yeah, I believe it's 9:10. Chapter 9, verse 10.
Okay.
Which says that the beginning of wisdom is like the fear of the Lord. So if you start there, but because the Bible has so much game on wisdom. But before,
very much. It makes it so known that it's so important. Like they say, like a man that has wisdom, like I don't know how many times it says it in the Bible. It's like you are so well off. It's better. It says it's better than riches. It's better than gold. It's better than everything. Imagine how much importance it gives that one thing, like wisdom. It's so important.
Even if you're to read like Proverbs, usually in Proverbs chapter 1,
Let me see
2,
if you are really up to like I'm looking.
You can go check. Even chapter 1, which is chapter 1 verse 10 or 20, the call of wisdom also states something in the lines of that wisdom is everywhere. Essentially, it cries out loud in the street. Wisdom is at the entrance of your door in your house.
Yeah.
Wisdom is even in this car right now. It's just up to us to be able to like detect it or like discern to be like, okay, this is wisdom. And the other thing that you should take in mind is that wisdom is essentially, as shown in the Bible, it's a female. Maybe that's why it's so complicated.
Yeah,
that's why
they
that's why it's so complicated, because wisdom is a female essentially. Yeah, because understanding her is like understanding. Okay, she's easier to understand, but let me know.
It's what you think.
Come on.
Honestly, wisdom is everything.
Precisely.
Wisdom is essentially everything. Without wisdom, we'd be dead. Wisdom is essentially like survival for me. Without knowing and understanding things, we'd be dead. We wouldn't be able to do certain things. Like, for example, driving the car. You see the cars that are driving around. You have to have a certain type of wisdom to be able to drive that car.
Wouldn't you differentiate that with knowledge?
Yeah.
Instead of wisdom.
Anybody, take for example, a learner. A learner starts to acquire knowledge about how to drive. That doesn't mean they know how to drive. So if they know how to drive, they can drive. They are wise because they know how to drive. They are utilizing their knowledge. They are using it. You understand?
Yeah, that's why many say knowledge without wisdom, you're just a fool, essentially. Another point is like essentially the same thing that you said. Like, I think I made this analogy before. A guy that has the knowledge, okay, if I jump off this building, I might break a bone or two. He knows that if he jumps off the building and breaks his bone, something bad is going to happen. He doesn't do it, he's wise. And if he does it, he's not wise. Because you have the knowledge of how to do something or what will happen, yet you do something dumb. That means you're just not wise.
But they know the consequences of what they were going to do.
Look at that.
But sometimes they don't. So if you don't know the consequences, if you don't understand the whole picture, that means you're not wise. You haven't made the wise decision.
Gents, you are hearing this. You guys that are so undecisive and do not know what to do with your lives. Listen.
You have to start acquiring knowledge. How, to become wiser, to get knowledge, to gain more knowledge, you have to be able to. Essentially, it comes from experience.
That is true. 100%.
That's like from its core, bro. When you start learning things, it comes from experience. Just like in schools, we don't experience it, we're taught it. That means the knowledge is already there. We don't need to go and experience it. Yeah.
Secondhand.
I think that's one thing that differentiates understanding and wisdom is because like understanding, you can understand, let's say I'm in a certain scenario, or let's say a baby, for example, is like in a situation where there's like open fire. Or let's not say a baby, let's say like maybe a toddler. And you told the toddler, like the toddler understands, fire burns, fire burns. They know it, they understand that it burns, but wisdom only comes when they were in a certain situation where they were actually burned and they know, this one is hot. I won't move there because I have the wisdom to know that, I have the experience that I know this one, it burns. I didn't just hear it, I know it. I know it in every fiber of my being that this burns. That's the difference between now just knowing something and having the experience and really, really knowing something for real, which I feel like it's wisdom.
You know what that reminded me of? When you got bitten by a dog, but this guy did not want to get close to any dog.
That's when your consciousness came out.
Is a dog.
And
that's when you are woken up in your consciousness.
You become wiser.
Yeah.
Once you get bitten by a dog, like take me for example, got bitten by a dog. After that, I thought that every other dog is dangerous. Every other dog would be like this and like that. So this is where you have to keep an open mind.
But
whereby not every dog is dangerous. Some are friendly, some are ruthless. You have to make a distinction between them. That's why you have to always keep an open mind to be able to learn certain things.
Yeah.
That's kind of like almost correlated to fear in the sense of you not wanting to do something because you're like, okay, I experienced this. I'm like wise now, so I'm not gonna do this again. But so like we spoke about this once before, the more you do something, the more it doesn't affect you. Like if I'm playing the guitar and then my fingers, first it's soft. If I'm learning just today, it's painful. It's like really painful to learn. It's like, oh, it's hard. Then the more I practice, my finger hardens. That's called callus. And then when I start playing again, it's like, this is easy, doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
Same thing like rejection, doesn't matter what it is. The more something is being thrown at you, the more you get used to it, the more you're like, this is like, it's nothing. Whether it's like compliments, that's why I make this analogy of like, if a guy is to go up to a girl, let's say two guys are going up to a girl, the first guy can go up to this woman and be like, saying you're beautiful, you're what. She met that guy a million times. It's not the first time she's meeting this guy. So many times she's met this guy, you're beautiful, you're cute, you're pretty, you're what. The way she's like, oh yeah, thank you. I don't care. On to my day.
Thanks.
But if she meets another guy that doesn't just be like, oh, you're beautiful, but actually talks to her normally, like she's an actual human being and not like putting her on a pedestal and actually having a normal interaction, that's when the woman will be like, okay, now there's more of an impact because it's something different. She didn't experience it. Yeah, because when it's something that she already experienced, like, okay, I have the wisdom of this. I understand this now. It's nothing to me. This is something you guys should keep in mind. Don't be praising your woman like
It
that.
doesn't make it's okay to say tell somebody they're pretty.
No, it's okay to do it, but you just don't do it because there's still difference. Because you can tell. I can tell my mom she's pretty and beautiful. The way I tell my mom she's pretty and beautiful is different. The way I'll tell my girlfriend she's pretty and beautiful.
Why do you say that? Why?
Or now you emphasize it because on your mom you can just wake up and be like, oh mom, you're looking beautiful today. You can do it like that. But if it's your girl, you can put more emphasis and be like,
Sometimes
yeah,
you put more
looking
emphasis.
beautiful. To say the difference, the way you do talk to them.
I just saw the difference of your face.
Exactly.
Your
Body
facial
language.
expression was like crazy. Like,
Everything
what?
changes. Every single thing changes.
I
The way
don't
you
know
talk,
about
even tone of voice. Even tone of
sweating,
voice.
bro.
Say, bro.
Really, I'm not even thinking.
It's because we're in the sun, bro. Yo, guys, it's hot.
I actually love wisdom, bro. Like,
Not you say I
that's why
love
I
wisdom.
love wisdom.
Yeah, the Bible says
I
love wisdom, man.
I
Hey,
swear.
you will
Like-
succeed.
Philosophers.
Yeah.
You know what philosopher means?
A philosopher.
Yeah.
Is it a person? It's not a.
It's a person.
Yeah, it is a person, right? But I don't know what they do. What is it?
A philosopher is a lover of wisdom.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it's like certain people that just acquire knowledge and keep on learning. It's
Yeah.
Like you could also say it's a teacher, but teachers are not really philosophers. But yeah, they're actually people that have these type of jobs that just acquire knowledge
They
and just
love
love
learning.
knowledge. And
That's crazy.
Love
like
learning.
let's say Jordan Peterson, for example. He's
He
a
is a
philosopher.
philosopher, yeah.
That's why he knows so much about a lot of things. And he's able to utilize that knowledge. He's like able to spread out the word, like help other people with it.
He knows how to convey everything that he learns.
It's not just about taking in knowledge.
So taking action on the knowledge that you have, would you classify that as wisdom?
Yeah, that is wisdom. That is wisdom. What you do with your knowledge. But usually, would you say that, like, let's say you do have that knowledge, would you associate wisdom as in being smart? Because if you have knowledge and you do something dumb, like I said, jumping off that building, you're not wise.
I feel like wisdom doesn't have to do anything with books, to be honest. One thing you can understand also is that even when it comes to like riches and stuff like that, so many people that never went to school are billionaires. Where did you think they acquire that knowledge from? From books? No. Experience. That's what I'm saying. Experience. Those people, they just, through their experiences in life, they just acquire a different type of knowledge that, you know what, if I do this 1 + 1, this and this, I'm like, okay, cool, this will work. And then they just use that to their advantage, and then they became rich. But some people, the mistake that people make is that they think wisdom comes from, if you are a student, if you graduated, if you, how many people that you know have degrees that are committing suicide, jumping off a building and doing other crazy stuff? Like how many? So it really doesn't have to do with just acquiring knowledge. You can acquire knowledge and you're just like, okay, I know 1 + 1 is 2, and now you don't use it to say, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna use this knowledge that I have. No. So wisdom is very, very different from that's what I call what is it called? School smart.
Yes.
Yeah, school smart is
I think
different.
you spoke about this. Yeah, you spoke about
I
it.
actually love the fact that you mentioned the billionaires that acquired that used their knowledge.
Experience.
Yeah.
Because I came up with that knowledge yesterday when I was like doing more research and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I came to the conclusion that like billionaires are wise, and your average day-to-day 9-to-5 worker just has knowledge.
Just have knowledge, ne?
They know a lot about a lot,
But they don't
but
understand
then
it.
Know a
they
lot
don't
about a lot. crazy.
Yeah, they don't. They don't
understand.
understand it, and they don't know how to use it, or they just don't want to use it. I don't know why. I don't know, bro.
It's like the thing that I mentioned of the phone. You take your phone. It's like, you know what? My phone works. It's calling. That's all I care about. I don't care. That's the knowledge. You don't understand how it's working, how it's switching on. Like you don't understand how the call comes from this place to that place. You're just like, you know what? It works. I'm good. But now those billionaires, they have all of that. They understand it completely. But then I also don't want to classify wisdom as understanding. Because somebody can understand that if I do this, this will happen. Then they still do it.
Yeah.
See, that's why I don't want to classify.
To be wise, you have to have knowledge. So one without the other is
They
it's
can't,
useless.
They can't exist. Like you
Yeah,
need
it's like they're basically brothers or sisters.
They coexist.
exactly. Yeah, they coexist.
You need the other one with the other one.
They're soulmates.
Soulmates. Soulmate is crazy.
Nah, like that one.
Soulmate is crazy. But I heard this, I don't know, a few years back, this analogy that someone said that most of the billionaires out there, they were C students, D students, not, and like most of the people that work for them are like the people that were so smart in school, A students. It's because people like somebody who has like people that are like who were, let's say, A students, right? Those people they depend so much on the knowledge that comes from the book, so much. But then when it comes to the C students, these people, they have in their brains, they have space for other types of experiences, for other type of knowledge and wisdom, not only from school. Like exactly, they have like, I don't know, man, Bamboo Maka plan, they have that. I don't know how to explain it, but they have that part of their brain that have space for other types of like that other type of knowledge, not just this is A plus B, this formula is like this, and a lot of those A students, they just copy paste. Yes, this is what the physics book says. This and what.
No, really.
But many people that are now creating cars, they Tesla, what. These people were not always like good in school. I also heard that apparently, what was it? Albert Einstein or whatever. He was not an A student at all. At all, he wasn't.
Imagine.
He wasn't in
That's
high school. I actually saw a documentary that they put his report like this. He had like, he was good, but he was not like A's, like just, that's not why he was named the most smart person or whatever.
I mean, that's 100% accurate because there's also a huge difference between like somebody can be super number smart, like rocket science, music theory, all of those things. But when you put a person to communicate to others, they don't know how to, because it's a difference of having IQ, which is the number smart, and EQ, which is essentially emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is like, I'm not sure if this is the exact definition, but how I see it is the way you talk to people, the way you are with yourself. You know how to socialize.
Understanding other people.
Understanding that as well. Understanding others around you and understanding yourself. It's like, can you go in a room?
Yourself.
Yeah, most importantly, yourself. Can you go in your room and have trust in yourself to do things? Can you go in your room or go somewhere and have the discipline to do what you know you have to do? Or are you someone that just like book smarts, when you go in the room, you're all shy, you're all closed off, or
You be shy while you are alone.
don't not talk to anyone, bruh.
Imagine you are shy, you're in your room and you're like, oh my god,
No,
I'm
really?
so shy. What?
No, for real, man.
What the hell, bruh? Why are you shy if you are alone?
No, for real, man.
Yeah.
But the crazy people out there, I swear, I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
Weird people out there. You never
There are
actually
weird
know.
people out there.
You never know.
You know, for real, they might be feeling bad. Guy, we're not laughing at you. It's the situation. It's just it's so
Very
funny. This guy said sorry, but what do you mean?
Yeah, sorry
You're
for
feeling
what?
sympathy. You're feeling
This is
sympathy for them.
Swear, bro.
But no.
I wanna continue spitting, but bro.
Yeah, I can tell, bro.
Aye, wait. Let's
Bro.
Come on, I want to spit near, but
yo.
yeah,
This
no.
skin is already spitting, bro.
Yes.
Your pause. Anyways,
What?
It's hot, bro.
But it's better now.
you wanted sun most.
Yeah, but not this much sun, to be honest.
Sometimes as black people we need that sunlight.
I don't know.
Vitamin. Why did you say this so soft?
You say vitamin.
Yeah, I said
She was like,
vitamin D.
vitamin D.
It is vitamin D, oh. What? I said vitamin D.
I swear.
Stop acting weird.
These ones are undercover.
Okay.
Yeah, back to wisdom.
Yeah, back to wisdom.
Wisdom is king, bro.
It essentially is game, because even when I look at my own definition of what game is, like the best knowledge I can put it into is game is, you think of a video game. Let's say in a video game you can experience, your character levels up and all that. You can create your own character, but this time it's not you that created your character. It's like God who created the character. So in a way, it's like you're watching a movie of your own life. You have the controller in that video game. You can control what you do with your life. I can press A, I'm jumping. Or X for you, PlayStation guys, you're jumping. You can press squared, what you're doing this. You move the left stick, you're moving to the left or to the right. You move your right analog, you're seeing the world, your perspective. Now, the moment you give away your controller to somebody else, that person has control over your life. Why? Because they have the controller.
It's like now you're a puppet.
It's precisely. They can move the left stick, move you. They can move the right stick, change your perspective. They can press A, make you jump. They can press the trigger, then you're triggered, you're angry, you're pissed off. They can press here, then you're comfortable, what. They essentially have control over your life. That's why it's important to never give your controller to somebody else. Always have it for you. Always control your own life, or you can give your controller to God. Like if you give your controller to God, honestly, that's the best thing you can do, because if you have your trust in God.
Honestly, when you give your controller to God, it's like God is like holding you with, you're both controlling.
Exactly, but it's like telling you, like you can move.
Because for God, He doesn't want you to be a puppet.
Precisely.
That's why He gives you choice.
Free will.
That's why He gives you choice. So it's not just gonna control you like that.
It's not gonna be like that. No. That's why I love that you said it's like He's around you and then showing. Like that's a perfect viewpoint. That's a beautiful viewpoint. Exactly. That's why your controller should always be like with you and with God. Like, don't give your controller to other people. But for the woman that are getting married, you're gonna have to give your controller to your husband. I mean, it's not unfortunate, but it's fortunate depending on who you choose. Because if they choose bad, that's sad.
Sometimes it's not always good to give it to your husband.
Then give it to God. And
exactly. Just keep it with God. Like,
give it to God.
To some extent, you can do it, but it depends on who you married.
True, 100%.
Because imagine if your husband is not even husbanding, bruh.
Yeah,
bruh. And then you wanna give it to him. He's already like struggling, even with his faith. He's struggling, and you want to give him.
Then why did you marry him?
No, like things happen, bro. Like things really happen, and some people change. It says nobody can be the same for their entire life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things can change. So but if you think if he's really under subject of God, like if he's subjected under God, then you can give him the controller. But then otherwise
the controller should always be with God or with yourself. You should not be giving it to anyone else.
Yeah.
Because if somebody does not have the wisdom or understanding of other people around them, they're going to give their controllers to anybody, whether it be your friend, whether it be your parents. It doesn't matter who you're around with. That's how people get influenced. That's how peer pressure happens, and then they fold under pressure. It's like you're not a smoker, you don't drink, you don't do any of those things. Then you go in a crowd of people that are doing those things. You're gonna give your controller away. But now if you're secure in yourself, your controller is with you or with God. You go in that room, somebody tells you do this, you're just gonna look at them like they have 10 heads or something. I'm like, what you say? Especially if they try to pressure you, I'll be like, look at this person.
Yeah, you really think.
Like,
really thought.
Exactly. It's like, you really thought.
Wrong one. Wrong number, sir.
Try to convince you and all that, but nah.
What do you think?
That's how I see it, though.
How do you think wisdom can help you?
It can help you everywhere. Doesn't matter what you do. Talking to people, jobs, friendships, relationship. Honestly, even your relationship with God can help you everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single aspect of life, wisdom can help you. Whatever you are doing, it will help you. And also, like, the universe is your teacher. Wherever you go, wherever you are, like I said in the start, there's wisdom. I can, even in the car right now, I'm learning you guys' perspectives, how you guys think, the things you guys know. I'm gaining wisdom. Like so many points that you guys mentioned, I'm like, oh, interesting and all that. Another thing I'm learning is that this country is hot, bro. Yes, this country is hot.
It's like I zoomed out for a little bit, bro.
Yo, whole swan, bro.
Why is it so hot? Climate change.
Come on, climate change.
But it is
Global
getting
warming,
hotter.
bro.
Yeah, it is getting
Global warming, bro.
I bet, bro. You just see those shinies on the
It is
news.
getting hotter.
Yeah, it's hot, bro.
Checking more knowledge of that.
Nah, let me remove this
CFCs
plate.
and stuff.
Yeah, man, exactly, bro. Because right now, yo, it's incredibly hot, bro. Yes.
How cut this part out? It's unnecessary.
Everything is necessary, guys. We are
Even you
always
taking off your you want to
everything,
make
guys. Everything is necessary.
this is not necessary.
Woman,
Yeah, I know you're not gonna put it in because I did that.
you know what? I'm gonna leave it in. Listen, so the people can see. So the people can see.
See what?
This
You know
woman.
this thing is like 40 something minutes already.
So, guys, we are always authentic. I'll leave this in the video.
Just because you said that, that's why you.
No, I'll leave it in the video. But you're removing my glasses.
So the glasses that matter.
Muhammad.
Please look in the camera, ne? See these people
What do you mean, man?
with
Guys,
your
wisdom.
big self. You are busy.
Let's talk about. You see what I have
Come
to
on,
do.
let's talk about.
Come on, you see what I have to do
Real
with?
shinies.
What?
Listen. Wisdom.
That's it. Yeah. But
Now, wisdom can help you in a lot of situations, bro. Let's say it's that girl that you're trying to approach.
yeah,
The only way you can actually get her is through experience
through experience, yeah.
and knowledge. For sure.
If you don't have that callous, that experience, it's impossible. You wouldn't go through it. Because as soon as you do go through it, a guy that's having no wisdom or no experience, they might go through it and then they're gonna get like, that's what I was gonna say, is the bad wisdom or good wisdom. But then at the start, like I mentioned, wisdom is wisdom. It can't be bad or good. Because as soon as they get rejected, they're gonna be like, okay, it's like I was saying about the dog. I got bitten by a dog. Now I'm afraid of dogs. I don't care what dog it is, what breed it is. Stay away from me. Like I don't care what dog it is. That person is gonna be like, yeah, whatever woman it is, I will not approach. Even if I'm interested in it, I will not approach because I don't wanna feel that again.
It's called.
But if someone gets out of their comfort
It's
zone,
actually called pain avoidance.
pain avoidance.
Pain avoidance. Your mind creates certain scenarios where it's like,
Yeah.
you know what? Since this happened, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
And then it always avoids it. This is where fear comes into play.
Oh, okay.
Fear essentially just narrows your mind and like narrows your focus to one thing. Let's say you're driving. I think I talked about
Yeah,
this
you
last time.
mentioned.
Let's say you're driving, you're so fixated on like the other cars like coming to bump you, and it's like you're just focused on just dodging them.
Yeah.
Essentially, all of that is just in your mind. All of those things that you're trying to avoid, it's not being avoided. It's just
Isn't it like related to survival instincts essentially? Because you're experiencing it, like, you know what, your brain is tricking you not to experiencing it again. But if you just go through it and be like, you know what, control is in my hands, I'm gonna do it either way.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be more callous, you're gonna be more hardened. The experience will not get to you, and then you're gonna be getting more wisdom from it. You're gonna be learning more from it. And the next girl you go up to, you straight, easily. You can talk to her easily, whether she says no, whether she says yes. Because when you think about it, when somebody is talking to you, right? When you approach somebody new, it doesn't matter if it's a business interview, whether it's a woman. When you're talking to somebody at that first instance, that person cannot reject you because they do not know you. They're only rejecting the idea or the thought of who you might be.
Yeah.
So the way you presented yourself, the way you're talking, if you're nervous, if you're shaky, if you're confident, that's why it doesn't matter if she says yes or no.
always like this.
So it doesn't matter if she says yes or no in that job interview. They say yes or no. They essentially don't know who you are. Oh, this sun.
So guys,
It's
let's
beautiful,
conclude.
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Even if we're talking in the sun, bro, it's like I still wanna continue.
It's not for real, bro.
Conclude, the video is hella long.
It's there alone.
Yeah, but now let's get to the conclusion though.
Yeah. Wisdom.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. So how to acquire it?
How to acquire wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
You have to first acquire knowledge
Yeah.
through learning,
Precisely.
putting yourself in certain situations, experience. Essentially, just experience. That's where wisdom comes from, experience.
It can also come from other things. It can be secondhand as well, like learning from books and all that. But that also depends on the person. Some people might not take that type of wisdom seriously. They might gain it. They read in a book, if I get shot by a gun, or they saw in a movie, or they saw heard it. If I get shot by a gun, I'll die. That's like wisdom. I have the knowledge of it now. Like, okay, I should not do that. Like, you didn't actually get shot to be like, oh, no, let me not get shot again. Yeah, that's how it is.
Wisdom opens up doors, opens up more opportunities.
So good
say this. For example, it unlocks your creativity, your curiosity, your judgment, understanding, all of these things. So once you gain wisdom, you're able to make better decisions. You're able to live a better life. And once you learn, let's say like you're tackling a goal, for example.
Yeah.
Once you fail at that goal and you start crying, you're feeling like emotional and stuff like that. That means you haven't had all the wisdom to achieve your goal. So once you're able to take the appropriate steps to achieving that goal, then you have wisdom.
What would you say? Would you say the same thing?
Yeah, because when you experience something, it takes you to a certain mindset where you take steps back and you think like, okay, I did it didn't work. Let me take steps back and analyze everything and what I can do better to achieve this goal that I have. That's why experience is very, very important. It allows you to make better decisions to go for what you're going for. So basically avoid fear. Avoid fear. A lot of people that are successful just didn't become successful just like that. You know what I mean? They went through downfall, through even instances where they just even stop like doing whatever they're like, this is not working. But it's the picking yourself up where you really acquire wisdom. No, let me try this again. Let me see what I did wrong. Let me see what I can do better. That's now when you become wise. And even in your future life, you can even advise other people to do these things that you were avoiding doing because of fear in the future. That's how you,
It just reminded me of Solomon. First thing he asked God when he had the opportunity was wisdom. That's the first thing he asked.
Because with wisdom, you have everything.
So many wives, but the guy had 700.
Yeah,
300 concubines.
Because he was a king, not even really. Anybody that's king, everyone is going there.
Especially in those olden days.
If they announce the king one, everyone is bathing. Everyone is bathing, shaving. I'm just I'm going, my dear.
Rayjay, that reminded me while we were talking about the phone and all that. Like, people just sit in the surface level and like they don't understand like what this is and all that. Let's say if you're to bring this wisdom to the past. At least for us, it's okay, buddy. Natasha will get like burnt for witchcraft or something. They'll be like, she's a witch. She's a no, really. The people who think you're using some kind of juju or something, they'll be like, this, a device showing my face. Like, and then you're telling them, look, I can capture you in time. Look, it's you.
What am I doing in there?
Yo, it's crazy, bro.
Bruh, no, it's crazy, bruh.
No, but essentially about the Solomon thing, like he literally asked all he needed was wisdom, because with wisdom you can acquire wealth, you can acquire relationships, you can acquire anything. So he asked for the ultimate package, because wisdom is worth more than gold, worth more than whatever you want. With wisdom you can acquire anything. Basically, you can do anything.
The man without wisdom is just foolish.
Yes.
But in order to be wise, you have to accept being a fool.
So that you need to know, you need to experience.
Very important. It's something that we have to talk about.
Self-acceptance.
Like, we have to talk about that pyramid. Self-acceptance, self-reflection.
Or the pyramid of self-mastery.
We have to talk about that also.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
But either way, it's beautiful, though. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wouldn't you agree?
Wisdom. It's hot. Yes. It's hot, man. It's no clear.
It's beautiful.